Hello viewers, this is Solomon Afolabi, an ICT instructor at Emmakulate System Solutions. I hope we have been following through other editions of this e-learning tutorial. If we have not been doing so, please, this is the third episode, part 3. Please let us check Emmakulate System Solutions YouTube channel and download the first 2 episodes. That's the first and the second episode. Yes. Today, we shall be discussing the pros and cons in forms of challenges of e-learning management application system. A lot of people have been raising different questions, have been giving different comments in recent times. I'm going to treat all that today. And another thing I want us to know is that in this time of COVID-19, there is no other platform that we can use to teach apart from using an e-learning platform. And for those that have been using in WhatsApp, I keep discussing this every now and then. WhatsApp is not an e-learning management application. It's an instant messaging application. And I know some people might have started encountering what we call message flooding. But in case you have not started encountering message flooding, I know sooner or later you are going to have that issue of message flooding. That is by the side. Let's continue what we want to discuss today. Today, we want to consider few things that has to do with e-learning. Number one, when we say e-learning, everything as an e-learning teacher or e-learning student, everything that we will be doing as a teacher or as a student is paperless. When I mean paperless, as a teacher, you don't have to write lesson notes. You have to type your lesson notes. As a student, you want to solve your assignment, if you have to use your computer to do so. Then after using your computer, you have to upload. So the concept of e-learning has brought about the paperless concept, not using papers. You use everything you have to do is on the computer. And that means as a teacher that wants to be making use of e-learning management application to teach his or her student should be able to do things in a paperless format. Now, let me elaborate on the concept of paperless. Now, the conventional method of teaching is to prepare lesson notes, go to the class, dictate to the student in class from the lesson notes, or sometimes write on the board for the students. As you're writing as a teacher, the students, they're writing, they're copying from the board and they're writing on their notes. They are writing in their notes. So that is the conventional, traditional method of teaching and learning. But with the concept of e-learning, as a teacher, there is no need to write lesson notes. And even if you want to do so, okay, let me explain better. I wouldn't say there's no need for you to write your lesson note, but if you want to write your lesson notes, you do that on your computer. You are going to have a soft copy of your lesson notes and not a hard copy. Do you get that concept? So that you will not feel, what I'm trying to say is that you don't need a lesson note. Every teacher, every educator would need to prepare a lesson note. So, but this time around, with the concept of e-learning, your lesson note is going to be in soft copy, which you can type with Microsoft Word, or you can type, you can convert to presentation slides using Microsoft PowerPoint. That is the concept of paperless. Now, after preparing the lesson note in soft copy, the next thing is to transfer it via e-learning management application to the student. That's a soft copy. And one nice thing as a teacher, you cannot misplace your lesson note, even that is in soft copy, even if your system crashes, or let's say your phone or any device which you have used to prepare your lesson notes, I mean the soft copy of your lesson notes, even if you have issues, they get damaged or destroyed, everything has been saved online for you. Everything has been saved for you. So wherever you are, you can always connect to the internet, pull down the soft copy of your lesson note or your lecture note, then you can start sharing with your student. Then for the student as well, they don't have to, there's no need of them saying, I've misplaced my note, I can't see my note, because everything is in soft copy and everything is saved online. So that is on the part of the student. That's the concept of paperless. Then number two, which is very important, is the teacher. It has to do with the teachers. And I'll break it down. There are few ICT knowledge that the teacher must be very, very conversant with, that the teacher must be very, very proficient in doing. Number one has to do with file management. I know we said everything is going to be in soft copy, and all the soft copies of your lesson notes, your assignment, your exam questions, your test papers, and all that, everything is in soft copy. So you should be able to manage all of them online, because if you don't know how to manage them, you are going to be in a mess. So the first thing is you need to know, or you need to learn how to manage file. I don't know if you get that. Should I explain more? Okay, let me put it this way. If you have a file and you can't remember where you have saved your file, it becomes a problem by the time you need to use a file for your student. That's your lesson notes in soft copy. If you have prepared a slide which you're supposed to use to teach your students, and by the time you want to share the soft copy of the slide and is nowhere to be found, it becomes a problem. So these are some of the things as a teacher, as a 21st century teacher, you must be very, very conversant with file management. Then number two, you should be very, very proficient with window navigation. That is, if your operating system is Windows. If you are using Mac, for instance, you should be able to navigate your Mac operating system very well. Do you understand? So any kind of operating system you are using, you should be able to navigate your computer with that operating system. And another thing that I want to discourage most teachers when it comes to e-learning has to do with your typing skill, you know. Some of us are not too smart with typing, you know. When you are typing, you have to type using the keyboard one after the other and all that. So you need to improve your typing skill. Each of the keys you have on the keyboard, you should get yourself familiar with the locations where they are. So if you're typing, if you're trying to prepare your lesson notes, I mean the soft copy, you're typing, it will not become a very big or a worrisome situation, because most people, they get discouraged when they have to type, like, let's say 2 pages or 3 pages of document and they are spending hours. It becomes very discouraging for them. And some teachers that I've met before in some schools that have mandated all their teachers to have a soft copy of all their lesson notes. They go out there to give their lesson notes typing to all these business centers, computer vendors that run business centers. So they give it to them. They spend extra money, and they used to complain all the time. So in order for you not to be spending money typing and all that, get yourself conversant with all the keys on the keyboard, learn how to type, even though you might not be a very fast or a very super fast person when using the keyboard. So you should be able to improve on your typing skill. So you should not be using one finger to type. That can be very, very discouraging. Can you hear that? Okay, now, then another thing that, apart from your typing skill, window navigation, I also mentioned file management. You should be able to know how to also secure your files, because sometimes when you are typing on the system and you have a file and the file is not secured. When I mean secured, I mean you should have antivirus so that virus cannot eat your files before you upload them. And you should not be using external devices, external storage devices such as flash, memory card, anyhow. You shouldn't allow people to use them anyhow on your computer so that virus cannot get itself penetrated into your computer and eat up your files. So those are the things you need to know. So this is the third episode, and I believe you have really benefited from this video tutorial. Let's, at this junction, let us put a break to this, and the next episode we shall continue to go deeply into e-learning management application. But at that time, we are going to pick one particular e-learning management application, and that is going to be Google Classroom. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.